The crimson blade cuts through the smoke-filled air of the Jedi Temple's meditation chamber. Master Sindralig, the legendary battlemaster, parries desperately as his opponent, cloaked in shadow, moves with impossible speed. Each strike carries the weight of destiny itself. "You were meant to save us! The prophecy!" The prophecy was never about saving anyone. The blue and red sabers lock, casting dancing shadows on ancient pillars that have stood for thousands of generations. In those shadows, we glimpse a truth the Jedi Order refused to see, a truth written in texts they buried, in languages they forgot to translate. This is the story of Anakin Skywalker, not as the chosen one who would destroy the Sith, but as the heir to their darkest legacy. The one who would bring balance not through elimination of the dark, but through the subjugation of both light and shadow under a single terrible will. Deep within the Jedi archives, Master Jocasta Nu runs her fingers across texts that predate the Republic itself. The prophecy of the Chosen One has been recited countless times. A chosen one shall come, born of no father, and through him shall ultimate balance be wrought. But languages shift like sand across millennia, and the Jedi, in their certainty, never questioned their translation. In the Forbidden Vaults, texts confiscated from Darth Bane's lineage tell a different story. The word the Jedi translate as balance, Belthar in the ancient Sith dialect, doesn't mean equilibrium, it means dominion. Unity through conquest, the binding of opposing forces under singular control. The prophecy continues in these hidden verses. He shall walk between worlds, master of twilight, until all bends before his sight. The Jedi never found these lines. They were too certain in their righteousness to look. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you're enjoying this content so far, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch these videos without subscribing. Imagine what we could accomplish if everyone subscribed. We thank you all for your continued support. On Tatooine, the twin suns beat down mercilessly as Shmi Skywalker feels the first stirrings of life within her. No father, no explanation, just the Force itself, twisted and shaped by unseen hands stretching across the stars. In his laboratory on Sojourn, Darth Plagueis monitors readings that defy comprehension. The midi-chlorian manipulation he and his apprentice Sidious performed has succeeded beyond calculation. They sought to create a weapon. Instead, they birthed something far more dangerous, a being with the potential not just to serve the dark side, but to transcend it entirely. Master, the boy's potential
is beyond what we intended. We may have created our own destroyer.
Years later, Qui-Gon Jinn kneels before 9-year-old Anakin Skywalker, feeling the Force swirl around the boy like a maelstrom barely contained. The Jedi Master senses something wrong. Not evil, but different. The Force doesn't flow through Anakin as it does through other beings. It bends around him, as if reality itself acknowledges a superior will. The Chancellor's office overlooks the endless cityscape of Coruscant as 13-year-old Anakin stands before the vast windows. Palpatine's voice is gentle, understanding. Everything the Jedi Council is not. They fear you, my boy. They sense your power and name it dangerous because they cannot control it. Master Obi-Wan says fear leads to the dark side. And yet they fear you. Curious, isn't it? Perhaps the Jedi are not as pure as they claim. Through the Clone Wars, these conversations continue. When Anakin saves entire battalions through aggressive tactics the Council calls reckless, Palpatine praises his initiative. When the Jedi preach detachment as Anakin watches soldiers die by the thousands, the Chancellor speaks of the burden of caring too much. Count Dooku, in a rare private audience with his master, voices concerns. The boy grows too powerful too quickly. The prophecy proceeds as I have foreseen, though perhaps not as I control. The council chambers echo with finality as Ahsoka Tano turns her back on the Jedi Order. Anakin's fists clench as he watches his Padawan, his sister in all but blood, walk away from everything they've fought for. I understand wanting to leave the Order. That night, in the apartment he shares secretly with Padme, Anakin's voice is raw. They cast her out without proof. Then when she was proven innocent, they called it a test. A test, Padme, as if her pain meant nothing. Padme holds him, but her own fear gnaws at her. She's seen the Senate's corruption, watched democracy crumble beneath bureaucracy and greed. When she speaks of diplomatic solutions, Anakin's jaw tightens. Words don't stop suffering, only power does. The power to make things right. His visions begin shortly after. Padme's dying in childbirth, her life force ebbing as he stands powerless. But in these visions, he hears whispers in an ancient tongue. Belthar, Dominion, control fate itself. The confrontation in Palpatine's office unfolds differently than destiny intended. Mace Windu's purple blade hovers at the Chancellor's throat as Anakin bursts in, but Sidious doesn't plead for help. Instead, he laughs. Tell him, Master Windu. Tell him about the texts you've hidden. Tell him what the prophecy really says. Sith lies. No lies, only truth. You are the chosen one, Anakin, not to destroy the Sith, but to become them. To become more than them. The words hit Anakin like a physical blow. Memories cascade. Every moment of doubt, every time the Force felt different around him, every instinct that whispered of greater purpose. You knew? The Council discussed possibilities, but the dark side reveals. They've lied to you from the beginning, my boy. Used you as a weapon while fearing what you truly are. Anakin doesn't kneel. He doesn't choose a side. He simply turns and walks out, his mind reeling. Behind him, Sidious seizes the moment of distraction. Lightning erupts. Windu falls. And across the galaxy, without Anakin's commitment, without his choice, Order 66 activates. The clone's inhibitor chips engage. The Jedi purge begins in chaos, not calculation. The Jedi Temple burns. Anakin stands at its steps, watching Masters and Knights cut down the clones they'd fought beside for years. The Force screams with death and betrayal, but beneath it all, he hears the prophecy's true words echoing in his mind. Inside, he finds younglings huddled in the council chambers, their training sabers raised with shaking hands. Master Terra Sanub stands before them, ready to die in their defense. Anakin, help us. I will. He ignites his lightsaber, but he doesn't strike the children. His blade finds Sanub's, driving him back. You would make them die for your failures. I offer them something else. To the younglings, his voice gentles. The Jedi betrayed you. They would let you die for their pride. I'll show you the truth. A new way. A better way. Some flee, some fight alongside their masters, but others, too many others, lower their weapons and listen. In them, Anakin sees the future. Not Jedi, not traditional Sith, something new. The lava rivers of Mustafar cast everything in hellish light as Obi-Wan finds his former apprentice. But Anakin doesn't rage. He doesn't scream about his new empire. He simply stands, watching the molten rock flow as calm as the eye of a storm. I thought you'd come. You were always predictable. Anakin, what have you done? Now Anakin faces him, and Obi-Wan sees something worse than hatred in those eyes. He sees clarity, purpose, destiny accepted. What I was born to do. You trained me to serve the light, but I was created to command both. The Jedi and Sith have warred for millennia, each claiming righteousness. I'll end that war. By destroying both? By becoming both. Their duel lacks the frantic energy of betrayed brotherhood. Each strike is precise, calculated. Anakin fights without hatred, and somehow that makes it worse. When Obi-Wan stumbles on the black sand, Anakin doesn't press the advantage. Yield. I cannot. Then run. Run and tell the galaxy what the Jedi were. I'll show them what we will become. Obi-Wan flees, wounded in body and spirit, carrying a warning no one wants to hear. The Senate chamber has seen many historic moments, but none quite like this. Sidious stands at the podium, declaring the First Galactic Empire when the doors explode inward. Anakin strides through, the Force rippling around him like heat waves. Your empire is built in deception. I offer truth. You dare! The lightning never reaches Anakin. It bends around him, dissipating into nothing. The Chosen One ascends the steps slowly, deliberately. You created me to be your weapon, but weapons can turn on their wielders. The duel is brief. Sidious, for all his power, faces something beyond Sith or Jedi. As he falls, Anakin catches him, almost gently. Your knowledge, give it to me. And Sidious, in his final moments, understands the monster they've created. The dark side doesn't consume Anakin, it serves him. The transfer of knowledge is not taken, but commanded, and with his last breath, Sidious realizes the prophecy's terrible truth. Anakin turns to the Senate, many of whom cower, some of whom calculate new allegiances. Your empire is flawed, built on fear alone. It would crumble within a generation. I offer something greater. Order through strength, peace through power, unity through the Force itself. The transformation happens slowly, methodically. Anakin doesn't rule through fear alone, but through devastating competence. Former separatist worlds find their grievances addressed. Republic loyalists discover their new empire actually listens. The galaxy stabilizes not through oppression, but through the iron will of one who refuses to let it fall into chaos. The Jedi Temple becomes the citadel of balance. Here, Anakin establishes his new philosophy. The rule of two was born from fear. Fear that the Sith would destroy themselves. The Jedi feared attachment, feared emotion, feared the very thing that makes us alive. I established the rule of dominion, one will to guide the Force, many to channel its power. The younglings he saved become his first acolytes. They learn to harness emotion without being consumed, to touch the dark without losing themselves, because their master stands as living proof it can be done. They study Jedi techniques alongside Sith alchemy, creating something unprecedented. Padme lives, hidden but protected in the New Order. She watches the man she loved become something beyond her understanding. Their children grow within her, twins touched by destiny, pulled between their father's empire and their mother's dying hope. Years pass. The galaxy knows order, if not freedom. Leia is found first, her forced sensitivity too powerful to hide. Anakin himself comes for her, and Padme faces the choice every parent dreads. She's my daughter. She will be more than either of us. Leia grows in the Citadel, trained in philosophies that would horrify traditional Jedi and Sith alike. She learns that power without purpose is meaningless, that the Force serves those strong enough to command it. Her father's pride in her is genuine, terrifying in its intensity. Luke remains hidden on Tatooine, raised by Obi-Wan, who fills the boy's head with stories of the Jedi. But doubt creeps in. The Empire, his father's empire, brings water to desert worlds, ends slavery, crushes the crime syndicates that plague the Outer Rim. The cost is freedom, but for those who've never had it, is that truly a loss? The Force itself calls Anakin back to Mortis, that mysterious realm between realities. The father waits, neither approving nor condemning. You have become what was foretold. Not light, not dark, but the fulcrum upon which both balance. Balance through dominion, as was always the intent. The son and daughter appear, but now they bow before him. Light and dark acknowledge the master. The father nods slowly, sadly. The Force is not meant to be ruled. The Force is not meant at all. It simply is, and I am the chosen vessel, not to serve, but to command. The transformation completes itself. Anakin becomes more than mortal, less than divine, a living conduit of the Force's full spectrum. The galaxy feels the shift, reality bending subtly to acknowledge its new axis. The throne room of the Imperial Citadel stretches vast and cold, its walls lined with kyber crystals that pulse with gathering power. Anakin sits upon a throne crafted from lightsaber components, symbols of both orders he has transcended. He appears ageless now, sustained by the Force itself. Before him stand his children. Leia, dressed in blacks and grays that somehow catch the light, radiates controlled power. Her father's heir in all but name. Luke wears simpler clothes, his grandfather's lightsaber at his hip, doubt and determination warring in his eyes. Father, the cost. Everything has a cost. The Jedi pretended otherwise and fell to hypocrisy. The Sith embraced it and fell to madness. I acknowledge it and transcend both. The galaxy beyond knows peace. Not the peace of freedom, but the peace of order absolute. Fleets patrol not to conquer, but to enforce. Laws bind not to oppress, but to unify. The Force itself seems quieter, as if exhausted by millennia of war between its aspects. And if we resist, then you'll understand why the prophecy spoke of one, not many. The Force has chosen its vessel. Light and dark serve a single will now, mine. Or we could serve willingly, shape this order, make it better. The choice hangs between them, rebellion or evolution, defiance or acceptance. In this moment, the galaxy's future balances on a knife's edge, just as the Force itself balances within its chosen one. Anakin rises and the crystals pulse brighter. Outside, stars wheel in their courses, indifferent to mortal concerns. The Jedi are memory. The Sith are reborn not as shadows, but as architects of order. And at the center of it all stands the Chosen One, prophecy fulfilled in ways no one foresaw. Balance has come to the Force, not through peace, but through power. Not through wisdom, but through will. The prophecy is complete. The galaxy will never be the same. The vision ends, but the questions linger. What is balance truly? Can order exist without freedom? Does power corrupt, or does it merely reveal? In this alternate path, Anakin Skywalker found his destiny not in redemption, but in dominion. The chosen one, not of light, but of the twilight between. Master of both, servant of none. Perhaps the Jedi were right to fear him. Perhaps the Sith were fools to think they could control him. Or perhaps this was always how it was meant to be. If you enjoyed this journey into the shadows of what might have been, remember to hit that subscribe button and join us for more explorations of the infinite possibilities within that galaxy far, far away. May the Force be with you, always.